Your support matters to Keeping the Beacon. It takes just a few minutes to click and give on the support button at ksje.com/support, and thank you very much.
KSJE is proud to support the skating rink at the Farmington Civic Center, December 3rd through the 30th. Groups of 10 or more pay $3 per hour. Individual skaters pay $5 per hour. The price includes skates. The rink is open Monday through Friday, 4 to 6 p.m., Saturdays, 1 to 6 p.m., and Sundays, 1 to 4 p.m. Skating at the Farmington Civic Center, 200 West Arrington in downtown Farmington.
Hi, I'm Don Glass.
And I'm Yael Cassander.
And we host A Moment of Science.
The world is always posing questions, and science is always in pursuit of answers.
A Moment of Science offers many of those answers in a timely moment of entertainment and enlightenment.
We hope you'll tune in.
For more information about A Moment of Science or to download our latest podcasts, visit us at amomentofscience.org.
Listen weekday afternoons at 5:45 on KSJE. This program is supported by San Juan Regional Medical Center, who's expanding its services to offer low-cost blood screenings all year round, now offering walk-in convenience to get the blood tests you want when you want them. MyLabs, patient-ordered testing, is available in Farmington at the hospital's laboratory and the Outpatient Diagnostic Center on 30th Street. Also in Aztec at San Juan Health Partners Family Medicine at 120 Llanos Street. With nearly 20 tests available, there's an option for everyone. MyLabs, patient-ordered testing, a wellness service of San Juan Regional Medical Center. .833 KSJE, you're listening to the Scott Michlin Morning Program, and as we start talking about the weather, we're going to tease our viewers just a little bit with some shots of White Bay and the British Virgin Islands, the lovely beach, and the water there, and the boats, of course. From earlier this morning, just some warm thoughts we're sending along as we talk a little bit about the weather forecast here. Because for us, the situation's a little bit different, but we are going to see some sunshine today. Partly sunny skies in Farmington on this Tuesday, 48 for a high today, 25 overnight. It'll be a bit windy on Wednesday with a high near 50 tomorrow. Sunny and 49 on Thursday, partly sunny skies for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with highs right around 50 degrees and overnight lows in the mid-20s. And maybe in the forecast is a chance of showers, about a 40% chance of rain and snow Tuesday night, that's Christmas night, into Wednesday morning. So we'll see if that develops into anything. I'm Scott Michlin. My guest on the radio this morning from the Aztec School District, Deputy Superintendent Tania Prokops is here this morning. Good morning once again.
Morning, Scott.
Also, Superintendent Kirk Carpenter is here. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Scott.
Good to have both of you here this morning as we get ready to break for the winter break. And we were talking during the break just now that your students will be in class till Friday. And then your staff and students are off for the holidays.
About 2 weeks off, and staff will come back the 7th, and then the students will come back January 8th. Very
good. Well, we hope that they and you enjoy your break and are able to kind of regroup and come back in January ready and rolling to continue and finish out the school year, right?
That's what we want. Get a lot of rest and family time, and then come back geared up to finish strong.
Ready to go. Perfect. Well, we've been talking about our theme this morning, which is a theme of celebration, and talking a little bit about some of the programs you have in place in your earlier grades and younger grades for your students to get involved in ownership. And Tania Prokops, we were talking about some of your middle schools, right? And some of the things that they do.
Absolutely. So Kugler Middle School is working with what Mr. Carpenter talked about earlier, and that's a Say Hello program through our Sandy Hook Promise work that we've been doing. And it really mirrors exactly what we talked about earlier with our ambassador programs and student leadership programs. It's reaching out to peers. Kids are reaching out to their own peers and just saying hello to each other in the hallway, to opening doors and picking up after whoever. It doesn't matter who dropped the piece of paper. It's just those little symbols of kindness throughout. So, and then when we look at Vista Nueva High School, that's our alternative high school, they're really working a lot with career pathways. And so every Monday they have an assembly with all their students. They have guest speakers that come in. The students are divided into different groups of possibly what they want to be when they grow up.
Right.
And they bring in guest speakers. I actually got to be a guest speaker there last Monday, dealing with 2 groups, just talking about kind of the HR world and how to interview and how to put yourself out there, and kind of working on your own brand, on what you're all about, and then how does that tie in with an organization's brand, and how do you sell yourself to be part of an organization. So that's really neat for our Vista Nueva students to be part of that.
Yeah, and we hear a lot about that here at San Juan College, by the way. Career pathways is a big buzzword here, and I think not just a buzzword, but a lot of work being done to help kind of funnel students into some of those pathways if they're not quite sure, or they're just coming to San Juan College to start their college careers. You know, what do they want to get into, and what do they want to be when they grow up, as you say, and how can we help them achieve that goal?
San Juan College has been a great partner with Aztec schools when it comes to career pathways, dual credit classes.
Right.
So it's really interesting to hear these kiddos and the questions they ask about, can a family member be one of my reference checks?
Right.
You know, all the way
sure.
to what should be on a resume and what does that look like. I mean, it's just great, and then getting feedback from them afterwards saying, this has really motivated me to go ahead and try to get a job. So just really neat celebration there at Vista Nueva.
Very good, and really important to have them thinking about this in high school when they're finishing up, so they do have kind of an idea and at least a direction as they graduate from high school and make that decision of where to go to college or what they want to do.
And balancing, that whole idea of balancing your studies with work and with life in general. So just working on that work-life balance, and how does that all morph as you get older.
Right.
Aztec High School, when we think about a celebration at Aztec High School, we obviously think about the resiliency journey that the students and the staff have gone on this last year. We celebrated, that's a hard word to say, right? Celebrated?
Right, sure.
But we just commemorated the anniversary of the
December
events
7th.
of December 7th.
Right.
And
that was student-driven, you were telling me, right?
absolutely. What a celebration. And that pretty much started in the beginning in August. Pretty much when students came in August, they knew that this date was coming on the timeline. And so the student council, along with their sponsor, Anna Strauss, the principal, Superintendent Carpenter, they all worked together in monthly meetings, and as it got closer, there were bi-monthly meetings, working on how to commemorate this day. Because when we talk about resiliency, it's so different for each individual. And I have to tell you, it's with a mixed heart that I smile about that day and how it went this year. It was really, it was great. I mean, it's unfortunate that we had to have it, and that we have that in our storybook, but the kids were fabulous. All the first responders, many of them came back. I spoke with, I think his title now is Sheriff Ferrari.
Right, or will be soon. That's true. Sheriff-elect Shane Ferrari. Yeah.
There we go. So I spoke with him, and he talked about how great it was that this was the first time that some of his people were back on our campus, and to be, and that what a big part that was for their own healing. So there were different things. There were breakfast burritos for everyone. There were different tables with different kinds of things planned. So there was an artist there doing a very large tree, and the leaves on the tree were different thumbprints that students, staff, parents could do. There were rocks that were painted already with inspirational messages, or you could paint one yourself. There was a friendship bracelet beading station. And our colleagues, the therapy dogs, there were about 9 teams there that came and mixed. And, you know, I think it's the right thing when, because I think that's what it's all about, is the animal, right? And so even watching the kids, they know the animal before they know the human handler.
Sure,
you know?
right, of course.
And
yeah.
So them just being part of our journey as well. And then after that got done in the morning, each teacher was teaching their passion. So you had different teachers that had different things planned.
And that went out from your office, didn't it, for this particular day, as you wanted all your teachers at the high school to teach their passion, or where did that come from?
It really came from the high school, and the idea from Dr. Hall changing the day, that we need to make this a day to allow, be academic somewhat, but also let's do something different. Let's make this a day of teaching your passion.
I see.
Some teachers talking about maybe something they've done, or do something different. And Dr. Hall used the example with the kids that he loves poetry, but let's do something that is different. And I actually got an email from a welding teacher, Miss Seaton, and she was very thankful that the day went like it did and it was planned out. She goes, she was a little bit apprehensive about what the day might bring. But she said it was absolutely, and again, I think it's hard when you use days such as great or it went really well, because of really it was an anniversary of a tragedy. But again, we refuse to be victims of an evil, cowardly deed that happened. We're not going to ever be. We can't be.
Right.
So we do have to go forward, and you have to embrace it, and you have to move forward. We commemorated and took time to acknowledge our heroes, Casey and Paco, and we will always look at them that way. So we refuse to be victims of this event, and so we do have full control how we go forward. And on this day, we needed to be there for the kids that chose to be there. It was low attendance, but those kids that needed to be with their families were there. Those kids that needed to be with our family were there. And so again, it's all how you move forward, and there is no textbook. We talk about that. So again, we talked earlier about having kids be in control of their education. We wanted kids to be involved with what their day looked like on this day, and so it was in many respects a beautiful day for all people, everybody involved, and what we needed to do for them. And so that the teacher, Miss Seaton, just said that. She goes, she was just so thankful that we did go forward, and she was able to spend time with some kids and have just a nice intimate day with them on what she wanted to do that day, and we heard that from others. And so yeah, there was a very, like with all things, when you have a death in a family, you have to get through some of those first things, whether it's a Thanksgiving or a Christmas. Those are just pinnacle days that you do have to move forward through. And we have, and we did, and it was not easy. However, it went well, and we brought together all the people we needed to, and it was a special day, and it was heartwarming. It was happy. There were kids. There were tears. It was happy, and I think it did what we needed to as a school district and as a school, and most importantly as a family, because that's what we are with all the people that were there, the dog handlers, the first responders, the counselors, the mental health folks, everybody. And that's how we've looked at this. Scott, I think, is a big family. The city officials from here, the mayor was here, counselors from over here, and other folks. That's what this incident has done with our community. We talked about the unitedness, bringing everybody together, and we can't shy away from it. You can't try to hide it. It's there, and you embrace it, and we keep the unitedness and the strength, and that's what we need to do. And we need to continue just to keep that feeling of being united and stronger, and just embrace it and move forward and keep that feeling of togetherness. That's what we owe each other, but we mostly owe, again, our two heroes, Casey and Paco, and this community. It's been amazing. So you have to find the good of anything that comes out of a big tragedy, and I think that's what we did on that day, and we just, again, are thankful to everybody for what they've done. So that day, I think, embraced a lot of that.
Sure. Well, and I think it's a good lesson for folks to see you leading by example, both of you, all of you, leading by example and moving forward, because I think in some situations, maybe some families or some organizations may choose to just deny that it happened, or not deny but hide or move on, or just not even acknowledge that a tragedy happened. As Ms. Prokops says, it's part of your story now, and you need to include that in your story as you all move forward. And I think it's a good lesson for students, not just high school students, but even younger students in your district, to see how these leaders are moving forward and still commemorating and remembering the heroes and those that were so involved in that day, but also then having a special thing planned, special program planned, a special day planned as you do move forward. That date is coming. We know it's going to come again next year and the year after. And so what do you do? Do you ignore it, or do you talk about it and talk about how you've moved forward from that day?
Being a teacher, being an employee of a public school, you have this gift, you have this honor of being part of a student's life and being part of a student's family and being part of the happy things that happen in the world and in life, and some of the sad things. And it's this opportunity that we are blessed with to show just a student just another way of how to handle something. Never to overstep boundaries of how a family wants to handle it, but always to provide another way, another choice, another avenue, or dovetail right along with how a family chooses to celebrate great things or how to mourn sad things.
Right.
It's really this gift that you have as a public school educator.
Sure. And the fact that, again, all of this, it sounds like, was student-driven, came from your student body, your student council, with the support of you, the administration of the high school, to make this happen on that day. And again, having your teachers teach their passion for that one day was probably pretty exciting for everyone.
And one of the other celebrations is our teachers. And how they work so hard to improve learning for all of our students and to create this great environment. We had 2 teachers. We had one receive National Board Certification from Kugler Middle School, which is a lot of work and a high honor of receiving that certification. We also have an elementary teacher, Ms. Gustamontes, who received the Golden Apple Award. She is the only one in San Juan County to receive that. Hundreds applied throughout the state, and only a select few were chosen. And so we're very proud of her and her achievements in receiving that Golden Apple. We also have our site leaders, and a lot of this is working along right with them and the culture that they create at their schools. It was that Facebook post. It's our principals that kind of cradle that school culture. And then it's our district level administrators, not only myself and Superintendent Carpenter, but all the different cabinet and all the things that we all do behind the scenes, so that in the end it's that culture of learning and that culture of respect that can happen at all of our schools. And so we have a lot in Aztec schools to celebrate that's going well this year. Which is
great, and that's the reason that we have you here, to talk about that and to share that with the community of what you are celebrating. And as things move forward through the school year, as we mentioned, your students have another 3 days left of this week before their break, right?
I'm not sure if they're celebrating yet, because I know a lot of those students are taking some finals. But
right,
yeah. But at the same time, we celebrate a lot of things, and we're thankful for. I think Ms. Prokops says it best. There's a lot of things that are going to be put in storybooks, but the profession of education, there is a lot. I know a lot of times there's things that unfortunately get put in the paper, and you hear on news of this isn't going well, that isn't going well. But there is a lot that when we get to tell our story that we need to be thankful for, especially in our area. In our district, in all our districts up here, there are many wonderful things happening. Just the collaboration that we have with each other up here, the college, we're very fortunate in San Juan County to have the talented educators, the school districts, the type of work they're doing for all of the kids up here. And I think as we celebrate, that's one of the celebrations too that I think we could agree on, is to have the talent and the level of work that we do up here with each other for all of our kids, not just the Tigers, but the Bobcats, the Broncos, the Chieftains, the Scorpions, everybody up here. When we're not on the courts competing against each other, what I really enjoy is how we work with each other on a daily basis to do everything we can to make all of our kids better and work with each other. And so I think that's something too that we celebrate often, because we do a lot for all of our kids in San Juan County. And this is a special place, because that doesn't always happen in a lot of places. And so that's something too I think is magical about this San Juan County, and I'm very thankful, and I just want to thank all of our other colleagues for the work they do in their districts. And hopefully parents recognize that, because a lot of times we don't get to see that. We see the other side. But there are a lot of great things happening in this county. And just let people know that we do work hard together, all of our leaders up here, to make things happen for the kids, and good things happen. And there's no more noble profession than education, and we appreciate that every day that we get to work with kids, because we get the opportunity to change lives. And I wouldn't want to do anything else. I love what we do.
That is very true. We hear that a lot here at San Juan College as well. And again, there's a lot of lives that are being changed each and every day at all of our classrooms and buildings and school districts. That's for sure. Next time we get together will be in January. So in the new year, do you think we'll have reason to celebrate the legislature about to convene next year, Mr. Carpenter? What are you hearing?
I do. I think that when I say this, not being overly critical, I think it is time for a change. I think that I'm excited.
We're going to get one.
We are, and I think it'll be a good change. I think there's a lot of ideas about how we're going to transform things educationally. I'm excited about what that may look like. I feel like it's going to be more of a collaborative opportunity between educators and the new administration. Legislatively, I think when you have a lot of revenue and you don't have any, it's always a challenge. I think there'll be some conservative approaches to that, and I think that's probably the way we need to look at some of that. But I also feel like, again, that the voice of educators is going to be something that will be authentically listened to, and that the opportunity to be heard is going to be there. And it's going to be something that will be, again, authentic. And I think that's been missing with the last administration, that whoever the secretary is going to be, I feel that it will be somebody that will bring back the voice of educators in decisions, and that we will hopefully have that collaborative spirit, because we haven't had that. And so transforming education in New Mexico, I don't think we need a total overhaul. I think we need some refinements. And so I'm hopeful and optimistic that we can do that with a grassroots effort. Right. And when I say that, that doesn't mean just superintendents. We need teachers and parents and everybody in that conversation. So I'm optimistic that we're headed in the right direction.
All right, we'll see what happens. I know you've been a strong voice, I think, in the past, and haven't been shy about letting your feelings known about the state of education, and maybe sometimes you felt you were shouting into the wind, I don't know, but perhaps the wind will calm down a little bit after January.
I'm optimistic that, yeah, and I have, and hopefully always have been professional, but it's advocating for all kids and staff too. So, but I'm optimistic that, again, with the new administration, that the shouts in the wind will go and carry all the way where they need to, and that we'll have a total communication gap completed, and that we'll have the right changes made for the right reasons, and that's for the 300,000 kids that go into the schools each day. That's what it's all about. Right.
Well, look forward to getting an update in January when we visit once again with both of you. Thank you both for coming in. Always a pleasure, again, to sit down with you each month during the school year to see and hear what's going on with Aztec schools. I appreciate you both taking the time.
Thanks for having us, and Merry Christmas to you and your family. Happy New Year, and I hope you get some time off to relax and do what you enjoy most.
It will be happening soon, I hope. Fingers crossed. So both of you, too, turn off your phones.
Absolutely.
That's an order. Okay. Thank you both very much. My guest from the Aztec School District here with me on KSJE. And I'll be back with more in just a moment. The time right now is 8:54.